Hi, good evening, and welcome to another astrological weekly forecast. And this is from today, the 16th, and it's until next Saturday, which I think is the 22nd. So, welcome. It's lovely to be here. It's lovely to see some of you here already. And how's your week been? And how are you? Do let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. What have we got going on this week? Hi, Poonam. Good to see you. We have, hi, Patrick. We have a new moon. Now, the new moon is happening on the 20th in Scorpio. If you've not already seen my new moon video, it is up on the channel, and all your individual zodiac signs are time-stamped, so that'll be good. So who've we got here? We've got Abhayaseni. Please send your astrology. I can't do that. You can go to my website and book a session with me. And hi, Sammy Joe, good to see you. AMAC, lovely to see you. So it's lovely to see so many of you here already. And we've got some quite interesting energy going through this week, but most of it is really connected with this grand water trine, which we are still sailing away in and floating away in. And it is, trines are quite challenging. That sounds like a rather sort of contradiction, as trines are supposed to be helpful. But a trine is actually, it can make us very complacent. We sit back and expect everything to just fall into place. And it can do, that's George, and it can do. But a square will give us the energy to get going and to push through difficulties and problems and challenges in a way that is much more growth-provoking than a trine. So Poonam, you're saying that you've had a very busy week, but it felt surreal. Okay. Hi, Shirley. Good to see you. Hi, Liz the Iron Maiden. You're back in the UK, are you? Okay. And Jim, good morning. Yes, George is exercising his vocal cords at the moment. He's very annoyed because really he would like to go out. And at dusk, which it is now, though it's got dark now, it is like the call of the wild just gets into him, into his very soul. And of course, they're indoor cats. And he doesn't know that I know better, in the sense that it really is better for him to stay in, because if he goes out there, he'll probably get squashed on the road, hit, he'll get horrible diseases, eat poisoned food that has been put down by the farmers for the rats, all manner of horrible things. So namaste from India. Hello, we have got a lovely selection of people from all around the world. And hi, Lenny. Hi, who else is here? I saw someone else. Anne, hi. And everyone, we're all saying hello. Hello, 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 hello. So I am finding personally this grand water trine quite challenging because, and let me explain, because, for example, at the moment, today, tomorrow, we've got 1 point of that trine is Jupiter, now retrograde in Cancer. And Jupiter is trining Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And then Jupiter is also trining the Sun in Scorpio. And then obviously the Sun is trining Saturn and Neptune. So we have to think about what this energy does to us or for us. And for me, it's as if it keeps me in a bit of a trance-like state. And that could be due to the presence of Neptune, who tends to bring in this sense of illusion and confusion. And hi, Cosmic 3IA, good to see you here. And so, oceans of emotions. Yes, Shirley, yes, it really is a little bit of a sense of oceans of emotions. And what's interesting is that we've also got this sextile from Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius to Pluto, and Pluto is in Aquarius. And then we've also got a sextile from Uranus in Taurus to Saturn in Pisces. So if we get a sense of what this is all about, for me, it's like we're a little bit lost at sea. The sextiles are trying to bring in opportunities for us to make some headway with the ideas and plans that we would like to put into action. And what's happening is the trines are going, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have to do that today. I'll do it next week or the week after. So there is something very, as I say, it's a misnomer, challenging about a trine. Because what we have to do is break through that reticence and resistance to action, because really a trine can keep us in non-action. And we have to get through that energy to be able to use the benefits of what a trine can give us and this grand water trine, because the rich emotional material that is in this is just amazing. Oh, Russian Di-Earthling, hello. You're jumping on before the family arrive. Mars and Mercury conjunction certainly lived up to its promise. It did, didn't it? Well, I mean, it's the news story that keeps on giving at the moment, isn't it? Because, well, I mean, is there any end to what's coming out? What can we say? We've got the Epstein files. We've got Andrew, formerly known as Prince. We've got our orange carrot, because I don't want to say his name in case people get upset. And it's all looking a little bit tricky for people in prominent positions. And of course, that Mars and Mercury will have another conjunction once Mercury goes direct at the end of this month, and once it gets back into Sagittarius, and it will catch up with Mars. So, but that's for another time. So, Sun trine Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn are opposites. Jupiter expands, Saturn contracts. The Sun is just radiating her warmth and light and healing frequency on anyone who wishes to receive it. Now, then we look at Uranus sextiling Saturn, and we know that we are going to get more of these shocking surprises. It doesn't seem to be affecting us too much on a personal level, but maybe it is. If it is affecting you, let me know what's going on. Yes, Christine, hi. I saw that you had some earthquakes or earth tremors last week, and thunderstorms and flooding. Oh my God. Extreme damage. It was terrifying. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're not feeling like commenting much. You must be absolutely exhausted. Sending you some much needed Reiki healing, because it's horrible when we go through these bad weather and bad earth events. And Anne Burke is saying the first half of the week was not good, couldn't sleep, didn't feel good, much better since Friday. Anybody else? AMAC, you had some problems sleeping, and yeah, very scary for you, Christine. And let's see what else is being said. There's the space weather. Yes, I think that's Lenny just put that message up there. The space weather. If you've been following Stefan Burns, and it's actually on social media, even almost in the news, not quite, only in terms of look at the pretty northern lights. So what we've had are these huge geomagnetic eruptions from the sun. I think I've got the right words, but excuse me if I'm wrong. So we've got this solar energy being spewed out of the sun, and it's hitting Earth. And apparently it was what they call an earth event or a ground event, which means that all of us will have been bombarded by the equivalent of having a dental X-ray, which is quite interesting. And clearly that's not enough radiation to do us damage, but that's interesting. And the effects of this, of course, can make us feel like we've got vertigo, so a little bit wobbly, a little bit dizzy. We can feel headachy, migrainey, have interrupted sleep patterns. Our muscles and joints can be more achy and just feel, I just feel I've been, well, mind you, I'm always in a dream. That's probably my moon in Pisces. So, but I have been sort of floating through the week a little bit like, huh, and a little bit discombobulated. And hello, Linda Tango. Good to see you here. You're just popping in. Nice to see you. And yes, it's taken a toll on our body and mental health. Absolutely. Yes, Stefan Burns is brilliant. He really is. And Beth Hendrickson, you've been worn out this week as well. Yes, I think all of the above. Yeah. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. And, in the meantime, we've got this extraordinary geometry going on in the cosmos where we've got these trines, sextiles. So it's like everything is, maybe that's a good thing, because maybe the cosmos knows better than us. I keep getting hiccups because I've been drinking some kombucha. Excuse me. Maybe it's a good thing, because if we had incredibly challenging planetary geometry, the cosmos was making really challenging, difficult aspects, then to have the space weather hurling its stuff at us might actually make things more difficult, because maybe the trine has actually given us the opportunity to just take a step back and not allow ourselves to get wound up by the by the weather. Oh, someone's saying they've lost me. Well, what I can say is that I wonder if, with all the electromagnetic energy that is spewing out of the sun, it is going to affect frequencies and signals. And so we may not have a smooth passage tonight with the live stream. It may well be quite difficult. So Poonam has been floating through the week. You've had to force yourself to work. Yes, I know the feeling. Jim, reconstruction on many levels. Okay. Is that in preparation for Saturn and Neptune's conjunction next year? Maybe. And I've just been watching. I joined you. Some of you probably know that Steve Judd did a mini Shifts Happen collection of talks last Monday night, which I went to virtually. So I watched it visually, and I've just been listening to some of the playback. And it's very good. And I really recommend that when they do more of these, even if you can only see it remotely, it's worth investing a little bit of money in watching it, because it was Rick Levine, it was Alex Trenauth, and Steve Judd, and the three of them together, very different talks, awesome, really interesting. And what's very, what's the word? reassuring or comforting for me is that I can see that um, I probably come under the umbrella of the way that they discuss astrology, because they have quite a maverick approach to astrology. They don't tend to sort of stick to the mainstream traditional worldview of astrology. They go out on lots of limbs and from the astrological tree, and I love it. Yes, there's been a lot of the aurora borealis activity. Sadly, not down here in Malta, but hi, Manuel Orchid, good to see you. I would love to see the aurora. I mean, some of the pictures on Facebook, absolutely extraordinary. I mean, it really has been very beautiful. And yes, I really recommend these lectures or workshops, virtual workshops that Steve Judd does. He organizes it and gets together the astrologers to be part of it. And it really is very good. It's right, Christine, you're saying, love to you because you know you've had a clearance like this. It's a deep decluttering. No one can understand it unless they've experienced it, onwards and upwards. I'm not sure who that is for. Anyone want to take it? I'll take it. I take all of it. Cosmic 3i Atlas, you had it all. Snowstorm, power failures, aurora, green and pink. Fabulous. Wow. And you've seen it up in Scotland, Liz. Oh, wow. Oh, that's for Jim, was it? Okay. Jim, did you get all of that? I hope so. I'll just take anything. Yes, no, I can't see that. You have experienced clearance. That's good, Jim. I'm glad to hear it. And I look forward to hearing more about that when we actually have a session, which we're doing very shortly. So that'll be interesting to hear. So the backdrop again, if you remember, I often talk about things in terms of the scenery and the backdrop. We have this grand water trine and various cosmic bodies keep changing position in Scorpio to hold that energy in place. Now, then what we get, interestingly, because by the 18th, which is Tuesday, Venus will be trining the node, the north node, and sextiling the south node. So Venus will trine the north node in Pisces and sextile the south node in Virgo. Now, I don't often pay much attention to these transits, but I decided this was worth looking at because there's something about the nodes and the presence of Venus that feels profoundly karmic. It feels, and some of you may already be sensing or feeling this energy being prodded in your own lives. It's karmic, it's fated. This is an emotionally revealing transit. Now we're already into the energy of this, and it's going to really sort of last till about, let's say, till about Thursday, Friday. So really all week we are going to have this feeling of or sense of Venus trining the north node. Remember, north node is our destiny. Venus can be relationship, how we value ourselves, how we value others. And you had an earthquake as well, Jim. Good God, there's earthquakes everywhere. Gosh, I'm not going to say. I was going to say, oh, we haven't had one here. Oh, that'll probably make one come, doesn't it? It's like, don't tempt the unknown, don't tempt it. So Venus trining the node is like, it's a transit that is or can be associated with relationships that feel very soul aligned. It can help us find deep emotional truths, especially because Venus is in Scorpio And of course, Pisces, where the North Node is another water sign. So you have this depth of emotion that is really, huge. So you may find that you experience this week karmic reunions or healing of certain situations, friendships, where maybe you've drifted apart for whatever reason and you can't even remember why you're not talking. You just know for some reason you're not talking. And I actually had an experience of this yesterday when I met up with someone I haven't seen for some time. And we were, I don't think either of us could really remember why we'd sort of not really been talking for so long. But it was a wonderful example and a wonderful experience of not just that Venus trine the North Node, as if we needed to reconnect at this time, and we needed to have the hug we had. And it was very interesting, and it also links in with this week's new moon, which can also bring unexpected people back into our lives. So I'm just seeing, good God, Patrick, you're saying there was an earthquake in the north of the Netherlands a couple of days ago. Absolutely amazing. Simi, what did you miss? You're late. I don't know. I was wittering. So I was wittering. Oh, Siri's just answered me. No, thank you, Siri. I'm good, thanks. Your net. Let me know if you need anything. Still talking to me. I mean, you're never alone with AI, are you? Oh, gosh. Anyway, sometimes it talks to the television. The newscaster will say something about it, and Siri will pipe in with a, piece of information. And I sort of think, hang on, the television and Siri are having a conversation. Anyway, right, back to the chat. Yes, okay. Oh, Shirley, you've reconnected with an old school friend. Interesting. Yes, the friend I reconnected with, I haven't seen for probably well over a year. And there'd been a little bit of a problem. Oh, bless you, Liz the Iron Maiden. She's given a little donation for the channel and for treats for the cats. Bless you. Really appreciate. Thank you so much. And how is the weather in Gozo, you're asking me, Manuela? It's 12 degrees in Munich and next week snow. Not ready for it. Oh my goodness. Well, the weather here is still unseasonably warm. I am so bored with my clothes because I want to wear some more winter clothes, with long sleeves and different materials, but I can't. And I'm sitting here now and I'm hot. I'm just really, just hot all the time. It's very humid still. Oh, thank you, Liz. I really, really appreciate. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That's interesting what you're saying, Jim. I'm not able to keep up with your chat in the chat, but about fear being deeply altering. Yes, and I think probably most of us have experienced fear to a greater or lesser extent in some way. Patrick, you're saying that this new moon opens a gateway that the heart, mind, and soul can pass through together. That's a lovely way to look at it. Thank you for that, Patrick. I like that, Jim. That fear forces a choice to live forward. Yes. Now, that's really interesting. I had one of my mentoring sessions this last week with if I haven't told some of you, it's with Steve Judd. He is my mentor and new astrology teacher, and he's just awesome. And I'm learning so much. And what he was saying was that about trines, which was really interesting because he was talking about something that's been going on in my own chart, that it would be very easy for me to sit back and do nothing and not embrace the aspects that are in my chart that are helping me towards this relocation to the UK. And, he said, what do you want to do? Do you want to sit there and just, sit back and take your pension? Or he said, do you want a challenge? And do you want to go out there and do something new? And I said, well, that for sure. That is what I want to do. I want the new project, but I can't tell you how scary it is. I mean, I've started the ball rolling and I can't really stop that ball now. I don't want to stop it, but I've had a few days of real wobbles. And the funny thing was, he said to me, you will get some wobbles. And I think because he put the thought in my head, I've been having wobbles. Oh, I know. He's an amazing astrologer. He really is. I'm very fortunate that he has said he would take me on. So let's just come back to Venus trining the nodes, because, this is about also closing past cycles through love and forgiveness. And we've got to remember that with Scorpio, we have the emotional depth because it's a water sign. And with Pisces, we have the spiritual sensitivity. So the trine here is about divine timing and karmic alignment. In other words, it's interesting that it's coinciding with the build up to the new moon on the 20th in Scorpio, where we will have this renewal of understanding. I really do feel that it's about loving with purpose. It's about sensing that our intuition is guiding our life choices. And that at the same time, simultaneously, we're following values that are soul driven. No, I'm not rethinking my move at all. I'm having a wobble because it's a big thing. I'm going to leave here without a home to go to. And apart from when I came out here 21 years ago, and I was a lot younger then, it was a lot easier. No, I'm not having a wobble at all. I'm just having oh my God, this is really daunting and this is quite scary, because isn't that human? Because if I didn't have the fears and the doubts, wouldn't that be a little bit inflated ego bravado? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I think you're right, Patrick. I think it is an important new moon and a kind of bridge for the full moon in December. Thank you, Russian Diearthling. Yes, I think it is natural. I think it would be very strange if I didn't have doubts and fears. I'm just reading what some of you are saying. And Shirley, you just moved back to Edinburgh. Oh, fabulous. I love Edinburgh. What a beautiful city. And Jim and Christine are having a little chat, and I can't keep up with it. Yes, Lenny, it is a big thing for a Taurus. And the Pisces moon, you see, gets a little bit kind of like I get carried away with the spiritual bit. And then I think, oh, dear. Yeah, Anne, you get it. You're in the same boat. 40 years in the US and moving back to Ireland in the spring. There you go. So you know what it's like. It would be strange if we didn't have, it's not exactly doubts, because I'm absolutely certain that it's what I need to do, because it's like, do you take the road less traveled or do you take the easy way? Well, you take the road that is going to promote growth. You don't take the road that is easy. You can do. And that's really what Steve was saying to me this week. Take the easy road, stay in Gozo, sit in your, nice home and carry on doing what you're doing. But that would that would suffocate me. I would just stupefy. I have to go. It is just a have to. It keeps cutting off, does it, Cosmic 3i? I think you pulled the golden book, Proof of Love, Spiritual Matters are more particularly important, self-respect. Take care. I think probably what's happening is that the solar weather is affecting some of the internet connections. So that'll be what is happening with that. So meetings that we have this week, or people that come back into our lives, can feel a little bit as if they are destined in a certain way. You know, Venus in Scorpio is going to really dig deep. And the North Node in Pisces is going to dissolve what's outdated. And so, you know, it's we've got to release old attachments. And of course, you'll know this, Anne Burke, you know, leaving where you are to go to Ireland, and me leaving here to go back to the UK. We have to release old attachments, melt away our fears, which are quite natural. And it's about actually having the right closure, making the ending as good as the beginning. Because I know I was so excited when I first arrived in Gozo to live. So I have to be just as excited about my gratitude for Gozo, for what it has given me and what I've learnt, and all the people that I've encountered whilst I've lived here. And letting it go in a good way, so that then I can go to my new beginning. Do you know, I'm so hot that my glasses are steaming up. Yes, Jim, the road that promotes growth, to be alive is to grow. Time for change, even if it's forced. Yes, Christine, yes. And I think it's also this week we can bring an end to old karmic ties. It can be a moment of profound grace. So it is quite important, this Venus trine the North Node. And the creativity that can come from this is enormous for any of you that are into painting, writing, drawing, music, drama, anything like that. I think you will feel inspirationally, creatively motivated this week. So I want to then move on quickly to also on the 18th, the Sun in Scorpio is conjunct Black Moon Lilith. And I thought this might be also quite interesting to look at, because now they are, of course, both in Scorpio. And I'm just trying to find the chart. Where is it? Sun conjunct. There we go. They are, of course, both in Scorpio. And loosely, they are still part of this grand water trine. And this is, you know, this is where the shadow, Lilith, in Scorpio, meets the light. The sun is the light. The sun is bringing the light into everything and anything that is in Scorpio and in our shadow. This is where, with Sun conjunct Lilith, suppressed truths rise to the surface. We can feel that we can really face our fears and find that inner honesty with ourselves and the freedom that that promotes. This is raw, transformative, and uncompromising energy, Sun conjunct Lilith. So what are we gonna experience? Deep truths, buried emotions, psychic awakenings, suppressed desires, intuitive clarity, empowerment through honesty. Okay, Russian Earthling, see you next time. Thank you so much. Ah, bless you, Linda. I've just read what you've written about. May blessings flow your way and everything comes to you with peace and ease. How to ground oneself in winter properly, Simi is asking. Go outside, take your shoes, your socks, everything off, and put your feet on the ground, even if there's snow. Do it for a couple of seconds, and that'll ground you. Failing that, drop an icicle down your back or an ice cube. That'll also ground you. So, and hug a tree. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we can resist the shifts that are happening, Shirley, or go with it. And I think it's about frostbite or frostbite. Absolutely. Absolutely. That will sober us up. So, Lilith in Scorpio is instinctive, sexually alive, psychologically very incisive and penetrating. And it's as if we reach that place where we have no fear of death. And we are not interested in the superficialities of life. So the conjunction forces authenticity. So it can feel liberating, uncomfortable, but very cathartic. But it's always going to be transformative, especially because it's in Pluto. -20 is a bit chilly. Ice cube down the back of the neck. Just drop it down. It'll ground you beautifully. I know it's water, but I tell you what, you'll jump up and down on the ground. That'll get things moving. So Lilith will intensify all of the themes that Scorpio represents. So control, secrecy, intimacy, trust, manipulation, vulnerability. And what can we expect? Well, maybe it's about renegotiation of boundaries, clarity around who holds the power. And we won't want to be controlled. We will also find our voice. And we won't take any SH1T from anyone. So we will be able to move away from anything that drains us or is coercive. So it really is a good energy to have. So the transit, this Sun conjunct Lilith, it's a transit that teaches us that the shadow is not the enemy. It's the part of you that remembers who you are. Because you cannot be controlled when you own your truth. Scorpio, Lilith, the Sun, nothing stays hidden. And that will be interesting again with what's been going on the world stage. If all these emails are released, which it looks like, the famous e-files, e-emails, I think we're just going to have insights, revelations. We'll understand the true motives of what's going on behind it. I think it'll bring clarity. Let me see what you're saying. Christine, we can never expect anything. We have to deal with whatever is thrown at us and still continue on our way. Yes, that is very true. And Jim has been saying huge and universal, no less than the whole of consciousness, guiding consciousness. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, as we know, on the 20th, we have the new moon. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it in my midweek Astro Witter, because we know this is an intense alchemical and emotionally renewing lunation. And it's, it's going to be quite powerful. And the last transit I want to look at for this week is Mercury trine Saturn and Jupiter. So Mercury has moved back into Scorpio, and this is by the 22nd, so that's Saturday. And basically, Mercury is now holding this grand water trine. So you've got retrograde Mercury. Something's going to come back and be revealed at this time, because Mercury is also conjunct Venus and conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Something is going to be revealed, and I don't think it'll be what we expect. And I think we will go, oh, oh, oh. We will see. We will see, but that's what I feel. And the sun, by then, of course, has moved into Sagittarius, because these new moons, I'll just say this quickly about the new moon, because we've got all these new moons at the moment that are all at 28 degrees of their respective sign. And that goes on. I can't remember how long it goes on for, but it's several months. We will have new moons at 28 degrees and a few minutes. And I think this is one of the things that is so fascinating about astrology. It's about the geometry and the patterns. And if you can recognize patterns, and I've realized that years and years and years ago, my aunt or auntie taught me how to read tea leaves. And what is that but looking at patterns? And I think it was the patterns that I would see in a teacup or in coffee grains that led me into appreciating the astrology and the patterns that we see in astrology. And you can link that in with the patterns we see in a tarot deck layout. If you have an ability to see patterns, then you can interpret them, because your intuition is the conduit between the pattern, you, and the cosmos and the divine mind. So, that's interesting. See the opportunity in rearrangement, Jim, you're saying. Scrying. Yes, Shirley. And I haven't got it here. I bought on Amazon, as you do. I've got a scrying mirror. One of the reasons I haven't used it much yet is because it's quite tiring. Because when you focus on its obsidian, and when you focus on an object to scry, it's incredibly tiring, because you are kind of moving out of visual sight and into third eye sight. And it's as if you just go into another zone. I don't know how to describe it. I know how to do it. And sometimes it will work for me and sometimes it won't. And I will try and use it at some point on a live. And I might do it on the other channel, Channeling and Stranger Things, and see what we get up there. Let's see what Christine's saying. Yes to pattern recognition, says Jim. Christine, the way to navigate this extraordinary energy is to stand still, hold on, and dig deep. Yes, Scorpio. Embrace changes that are going to be uncomfortable, but will mean the most. Yes, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Christine, we read in between the lines, and you have our love and support. And as I've said to you once before in an email, if you ever want to talk to me, there's no fee involved. You just email me and we'll arrange for a chat. And that stands. So let's have a look. So that's what I wanted to say about the astrology. Now, Jim, bless him, lovely Jim Lamberson. I woke up to an email from Jim this morning, which just had a passage from written by Marielle Hemingway, and it's so beautiful. And I thought, has he read my mind? Probably. But it actually, I think, beautifully expresses what we can sort of, how we need to experience and inhabit the energy of this week. Thank you, Christine. That's no problem at all. I'd love to hear from you. And so what Jim has sent to me is a passage written by Marielle Hemingway. And I'm just going to read it to you now because it's about practicing presence. But as I felt that gentle rhythm, warmth, breeze, breath, I found myself thinking, my body knows exactly how to be here. Not in yesterday, not in the dream I'm chasing, just here. The real wisdom, the feminine instinct, the inner pulse, the quiet knowing lives in the body that's walking the trail with us. Not in the fantasy of the future, but in the truth of the moment. Your heart's desire isn't always a grand cinematic revelation. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing the breeze cooling your sweat, the way the light flickers through the trees, the feeling of, oh, this is me right here. Manifestation doesn't happen because you force it. It happens because you're present enough to feel what your soul already loves. If you want to call in the life you crave, start by practicing presence. Who might you become if you let your presence lead your desires instead of your desires pulling you out of presence? I think that is quite beautiful. And thank you so much, Jim, for sending it at such a timely moment in the early hours of this morning. You are very, very welcome. You are very welcome. So I think it's time to move on to the tarot because we have to have a card. And let me just think and see what is being written. Yes, Christine, please do. Manuela, you're saying, because if how I feel at the moment, your videos and your aura, Penny, were and are very soothing and helping. Thank you. Is the rest of November easier? Listen, everybody, good question, Manuela, but no, November, the next couple of weeks and basically November is going to be quite tough. Partly because we've got a lot of retrogrades, especially Mercury. I've decided not to plan or do anything of any great importance. I was going to start doing my 2026, annual videos for the year ahead for each of the signs. I'm actually leaving them to December, and I'll upload them all at the same time, or maybe I'll just upload them as I get them done through the month of December, because I thought I'm not in the right headspace to do it. And I think it's so important to do things when we're in the right headspace. Yes, it is beautiful, Poonam, isn't it? Yeah, thank you, Jim. Marielle Hemingway. Life lessons have taught me to not be afraid of taking that chance that you thought was beyond your own courage. Thank you, Simi. And that's how I've been feeling. As I said, I think it would be very strange. Jim says thank you to all of us for acknowledging his beautiful choice of a piece of prose that we could have tonight. But, as I said earlier, it would be really weird if I didn't have any fears and doubts about moving. Of course, we have fears and doubts. We have fears and doubts about everything. And, we just, I know I'm the sort of person that has to take the road less traveled and not the direct route that says, this is really easy, let's go this way. I don't take the trine, I take the square. So let's see what cards we're going to have for the week ahead. I'm going to have that one, and we're going to have that one, and we're going to have that one. I don't know what they are. Ooh, not too bad. Well, I think we're going to have a busy week. I think there's going to be lots of news coming out and lots of things going on. And it'll be quite difficult to keep all our metaphorical balls in the air, juggling away. And there you go, Liz. You never thought you'd go to America, but you've been 3 times in the last year. I know, it's extraordinary, isn't it, how life changes? Yes, we don't have to be ruled by fears and doubts. Christine saying, yes, Manuela, Penny and the Soul Fam are a tonic. You were just going to listen tonight and not comment, as this week has been too much with the earthquakes and storms. It's been good to chat. I'm so glad you've chatted to us, Christine. I'm really, really pleased. But we're all going to have a busy week. It's going to be busy, busy, busy. For one reason or another, I think there's going to, things are going to start moving. In spite of the retrogrades, we're going to see an undercurrent of energy running ahead. And even though we may not be able to do anything about it yet, it's going to be, there's big news is coming out, I think. Big news. Whoa. Well, if that isn't about endings and new beginnings, this could be the card for the new moon. This could literally be thinking of Uranus conjunct Algol, the fixed star, and somebody losing their position, losing their power, having their power stripped away. We've already seen one nobleman tumble. Are we going to see more? Yeah, it is a bit. Have you got the new moon card, Poonam? Is that what you've pulled? Because this I'm thinking of is about endings and beginnings. And I think it could mean lots of things, but I think it's very interesting because this means we've actually got 2 of the major cards. So there is going to be, with this Black Moon Lilith, we've got, hang on, let me get them in order. We've actually got news coming out that is really going to change things. Lenny, you pulled the 3 of Pens. How funny. So, right. So news coming out, I think. Breathe deeply, often, and feel your breath. Yes. Patrick, the start of a new direction of the collective. Teresa, hello. Good to see you. Hello. You don't know how to pull tarot. Okay. Well, Simi's got the 7 and 8 of Cups followed by the 10 of Wands. Okay. So it sounds like the week ends on a much better note. And at the beginning of the week, we've got a few shocks and feeling that we want to abandon things. It's good to see you, Teresa. Welcome. Death card is about clearing the way for a new cycle of growth. Absolutely. The 5 of Pens sitting on the top of the deck. interesting. How interesting. And I think we're going to see a lot of wobbling in the financial world this week. You know, the economic market is going to be going a little bit skew with, but it'll sort itself out. But I do think it's going to tumble again tomorrow. And I think we just have to hold tight because there's just too much going on. You see, how it feels to me is that the old order are really almost beginning to realize that none of us buy into their story anymore. They don't have us. We don't, the old order don't have our collective respect, which fits in a bit with what Patrick's saying, the start of a new direction for the collective. I just think that everybody is going through this huge consciousness awakening. We are raising our energy to such a level that well, it's just extraordinary. I just think that we're just going to go, oh, we don't need you. We can actually manage very well without you, to all the world leaders. We don't need leaders of that kind. So I do think we're going through a huge transformation. Wow, see me. You said you went through your deck and the death card was next to the devil. Yeah, I think all the sludge from the bottom of the pond is coming up to the top. And Christine, you're saying the earth wobbling is another story. How can we help Mother Earth? With love, with grounding. You know, if I could get on the ground, I'd hug it. But if I got on the ground, I'd never get up again. So I can't. Hug a tree. I mean, I know it sounds a bit silly, but, actually sometimes that's what we have to do. The old is falling away. Absolutely, Shirley. And what's Patrick saying? Time can feel going very, very fast. So very slow this period. Yes. And Manuela, you've asked the cards how your move will be. And you've got the Knight of Swords, World, Moon, and then the Sun card. Well, that sounds very positive. Thanks so much, Manuela. That sounds like there will be a contract not before long. And the World, I'm traveling across water. The Moon, I think that's my inner trepidation, but it all turns out all right with the Sun. How lovely. Thank you so much. We can help by telling the truth to ourselves and living it, Jim. Yes, absolutely. So there we go. We've had, yes, with love. Everything will heal with love. If in doubt, throw love at it. And I know it's a little bit difficult with world leaders, but maybe if all else fails, we just send them love and just pray for them to wake up. But I don't think that's going to happen. See me, the paradigm shift is happening quicker than we thought. I think so, but I think this is all part of the Saturn-Neptune. And this is this great, huge shift in human consciousness. I think it's just, yes, Shirley, hit the thumb with love. Absolutely. Lots of love. So listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll be back next week. I just don't know how these weeks go by so quickly. Oh, Christine, that's scary. She's been running in and out of the house into the orchard every time there was a quake. But the earth was bouncing too, thought I was going into a sinkhole. Oh, darling, that is very scary. That is very scary. Patrick, you are so welcome. You are all so welcome. I'm going to go and go to bed, actually. I'm going to go to bed and see if there's anything on television to just kind of chill out and watch something completely different. And yes, Jim, you are truly healing, Christine, and showing us your way. Absolutely. You have hope, Liz, for 2026. New beginnings. It will be. Poonam, you're welcome. Yes, we're all going to send you some Reiki and prayers and love and light, Christine. We're sending lots of that. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I think we're all exhausted. It's the energy is extraordinary. I'm going to see if Stefan Burns has put up another video. I'd quite like to see what he's saying. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and all those wonderful, wonderful things that you do. And remember, my new moon video is up. And I think you're all getting used to the fact that I'm putting out a midweek Astro Witter. So there'll be a midweek Astro Witter again. And I will be back next Sunday, same time, same place, all being well. And we'll see what's happened this year. What this week. We'll see what news is going to come out this week. I mean, it's just extraordinary. What an extraordinary year. Yeah, listen, Soul Fam, take care. You are all absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really value your presence and all the support you give. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now. Bye.